Melbourne had to win it. Central Coast could have done without losing it. Whatever the circumstances surrounding the match, victory came away from AAMI Park with the 3 points, and those 3 points have kept them in the race for the Hyundai A-League finals, albeit staying a couple of points off the leading pack. Marooners took the lead early on through a fine finish from Roderick, who snaked his way past victory defenders before making best use of the space around him and blasting into the bottom corner. Before the talismanic Carlos Hernandez levelled for the Blue 5 minutes later with a frankly stunning finish. Harry Kewell sealed the win just after the interval after scoring a goal that he won't forget in a hurry. Things went from bad to worse for the Mariners as Trent Sainsbury's was sent off with half an hour remaining. Victory seemed to be turning around their form just at the right time, while Central Coast appeared to be losing the cutting edge that has defined their season, and if these results continue, we could potentially see them drop out first for the first time in many months. In this thriller wooden spoon 6-pointer, Gold Coast came up second best in a hard-fought encounter in torrential rain at Skild Park. Gold Coast, who now sit 8 points below Adelaide at the bottom of the table, struck first through an unfortunate Nigel Bugard own goal, but Bruce Dozite, whose recent form has lit up the A-League of late and had other ideas, and set about righting Bugard's wrong and levelling after 41 minutes. Dario Dozite then put the visitors ahead in the brutal downpour on the Gold Coast on the hour, and the rest of this day is history. While it is fair to say that Gold Coast have had their shares of injuries, suspensions, and, let's face it, bad luck, they need to definitely invest in some new recruits in the summer-winter. As for Adelaide, the hunt for a final place continues, and they sit only 4 points behind one. It's going to be an interesting few weeks. Phoenix's revival, that can stick, came to a halt today as Brisbane roared into the life to pick up their third win in 5 games. Basat Barisha, who has just signed a contract extension with the Oranges, if that isn't their nickname, it should be. Makes as much sense as calling Blackpool the Tangerines. Anyway, Barisha scored a quality finish just before the interval before Mitch Knuckles slammed home the winner after 80 minutes. Things got very bad for Phoenix as Ben Sigmund limped off injured, and Andrew Durant and Tim Brown both picked up their 5th bookings of the season, meaning they are suspended for next week's crunch tie with league leaders Central Coast. The result meaning Brisbane have reclaimed second spot and continue their march towards first, and will be counting on Wellington to do them a big favour next week. After all, they all have their own title dreams, and they need to win now more than ever in order to maintain their pressure on the top of the table. Soccerro Brett Emerson led Sydney to a desperately needed 3 points against the Perth side, who seemed to have gone off the ball slightly. Emerson, who just had come back from a hamstring injury, netted in the 54th minute before in-form Bruno Cazarin slid home in the 72nd to set up Sydney for just their first win since mid-January. However, a Billy Mehmet goal in the 86th minute ensured a tense final, with both sides going close in the dying minutes. However, it was Sydney's day, and now they move up level on points with Melbourne Heart as we enter home stretch of games. A finals place doesn't look out of the question. Perth Glory, however, need to pick up their game if they're going to maintain their position near the top of the table, having worked so hard over the past few weeks to get there. The Jets have, pun, really taken off towards the tail end. Does that count of the season? And with recent defeats of Sydney and Brisbane fresh in memory, Newcastle went into this match on cloud 9, full of confidence. Melbourne Heart, who until so recently seemed like being genuine title contenders, could not hold their own weight. A barrage of attacks from a Jet side that had all the attacking flair of an F-16. Okay, they're just not funny anymore. Jeremy Brookie began the bombardment for the hosts, before Ryan Griffiths and Michael Bridges capped off a memorable win for the Jets, and one that sees their assets up the A-League continue and levels them in the heady height of 5th place. I'm sorry, I'm a disgrace. Hart seemed not only be suffering from a lack of moral, but a lack of energy, ironically what Jets were criticised so heavily for a few weeks back. Any more defeats could potentially see their hold on a final space diminish and their promising work will be undone.